Another week, another Miami Hurricane performance. Man, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I really don't. Um, it's a lot going on, but I'm gonna talk about the game a little bit, address the Ibis in the room, and then I'm going to, I guess, talk a little bit about Florida State. Right? I guess that's what I'm gonna do. So defensively, QB, what's up? Defensively, I was happy with what I saw. I'm gonna tell you why. Because there were select times in the past where we would play a team that had an inferior quarterback and they would have a field day. And then there were other times that we would play a team that all they had was one weapon. We would let that one weapon beat us. So kudos to the defense for not allowing for either one of those to happen. Because as I'm watching our game, I'm subsequently watching USC versus Washington. And it's the exact opposite. USC, Washington, all offense. Our game is all defense. And I say all defense loosely because those were just two putrid offenses. Those were just two putrid offenses, trying to figure something out. Now, I mean, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? I hate that Daryl Porter Jr. got hurt. I haven't seen anyone give an update on what his injury is, but it sucks that he got injured right before the biggest game on the schedule. And his services are greatly needed, are going to be greatly needed for this particular game. So it it sucks that he got hurt, but hopefully it's nothing that's long term. Hopefully it's not something that prevents him from maybe coming back the rest coming in the rest of the season, or if it is something like that, just sit it out, come back next year, however that goes, because we're in one of those situations right now where we got 3 games left against the two best offenses that we will play the entire year. The two best offenses that we will play the entire year. Not just the two best offenses in the ACC, but two of the best offenses in all of college football, right? Run the ball really, can run the ball well, can pass the ball well. So our defense has had the luxury of the past 3 weeks with games against Clemson, Virginia, and NC State, not necessarily having to be threatened by someone on the outside, or not necessarily being, oh, well, QB and Mario said that, then that means Daryl Porter is out for the rest of the season. So that's 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 what that means. That means Daryl Porter is out for the rest of the season. So that's when Mario comments on something like that. Hey, it's a wrap. So Daryl Porter Jr., we'll see you next year. So we're gonna get into we're gonna play our two best offenses of the entire season, right? Um, so hopefully that's what happens. I saw the camera kind of pan over, like Cam was kind of limping a little bit. Hopefully it's nothing too serious on his behalf. I understand, bumps and bruises. It's 9 games, so guys are gonna be limping a little bit. Guys are gonna be moving a little bit slower. But, hopefully, they have enough, energy, enough adrenaline that heading up to Doak Campbell, heading up to Tallahassee, we can get the job done. As bleak as it looks, Florida State is not a they have kinks in the armor, right? Now whether or not we will be able to expose those kinks is a whole other different thing. But this will be the best offense that we will play the entire year. And I'm just ready to see what the defense is gonna do. So let's go to the offense. go to the offense. I'm gonna start with the positives first, and then we're gonna talk about what everybody's talking about. I've listened to hey hey Ellen. I've listened to everybody talk about it from Message Boards to Twitter to other content creators. I've all talked about TVD. So we'll talk about TVD, but yeah, I got a haircut, Ellen. I had to. I had to. I had to. So start off with Mark Fletcher. I'm gonna be honest. We've had some pretty good running backs here. You know, even though they have not been on the level of the running back room that we've had, back in the day, back during our golden, during the golden time, and not I'm not talking about Al Golden. I'm talking about early 2000s, late 90s. But we've had some good running backs that come through this university. Mark Fletcher has to be the most he grifted for. Ella, chill out, Ella, chill out. Mark Fletcher has to be the most physically impressive running back that I've seen in recent memory. The play that stood out to me was where he got hit 1-on-1 at the line of scrimmage. Took the hit, the player didn't wrap up, and he went and got more yards. He falls forward. He's the most physically impressive running back I've seen at Miami in a long time. And he's just a freshman. He like he's impressive. He's impressive. Hopefully next year we can make him into hopefully next year we can have situations where he can become a more well-rounded running back, which is, catching passes out of the backfield, screens and stuff like that, getting, making him more versatile and stuff like that, because that'll make him more appealing to NFL teams, especially when, you take into consideration the running back position is very devalued. But Mark Fletcher is Mark Fletcher's good, man. I mean, Mark Fletcher's good. I mean he's good. And to be honest with you, I think that Mark Fletcher probably will get faster over the next 2 years as well, especially if we can get this running back rotation kind of where we needed it. Because I really didn't like him getting. I mean, I understand getting him 20 some carries last week, but seeing as that Don Chaney and Henry Parrish were available, I would have felt better if they would have gotten a couple of more carries, because I think they got 5 total carries combined. But I would have liked that a little bit more. Through the screen, had some positive yardage on some screen passes. That was good to see. Some easy throws, some simple throws, and offensive line blocked good. You know, TVD sacked himself 3 times. Oh yeah, Jaden Davis. That's the position Jaden Davis has to be in, right? I don't really like Jaden Davis out there on the edge, out there covering. I like Jaden Davis in the slot because he's a very good blitzer, and Ruben Bain made that play because on that play, Ruben Bain got a double team. Nobody picked up Jaden Davis, so he had a straight shot to the quarterback. He made the most of it. We got a turnover, and that's that. So I've been thinking about this all day. I've been thinking about how do I want to talk about this TVD topic, right? I've heard multiple people talk about it. I've sat and I pondered on it. What exactly do I want to say about the TVD topic? First thing that I'm going to say is he's hurt. You can see it. You can tell he's hurt. Somebody has to be the adult in the room and say, look, you're hurt. They did it last year. When he was hurt last year, they took him off the field. When he was hurt last year, they took him off the field. I don't know exactly what the issue is this time around because he looks more hurt now than he did last year. Now, obviously, whatever the undisclosed injury that I never figured out what it was, shoulder, collarbone, whatever that particular situation was, He looked more hurt. He looks more hurt now than he did last year, and he sat out last year. Like we sat him down. So I don't understand what it is. Now some people have speculated such things such as maybe some NIL provisions, some things that may have been floated out there to keep him at Miami, prevent him from going to Alabama. I don't know. But at the end of the day, he came into the season. What all we saw was he had something on his index finger, right? Everyone was speculating, oh, it's a thumb. Oh, it's his finger. Oh, it's his whole hand. No, it's his ring finger. No, no, it's his hand. So that was all back and forth before the first game. Then the first game, we see, oh, well, it's just his index finger. Okay, cool. So he throws the ball really well against Miami of Ohio, throws it exceptionally well against Texas A&M. So we're like, okay, he cool. But now he's added some additional equipment to his uniform. He now has he had a knee brace on last week. He had on a sleeve this particular week. I think he has his ankles wrapped up. He didn't have his ankles wrapped up the first game of the season, so he may be dealing with that. Someone says he's dealing with a back. The shot that he took at UNC to the ribs may be bothered. So it's just like, why is he still on the field? Why? He can't physically do the things that we need him to do. The first interception that he threw, Jacoby George, we've seen him make that pass before. It's not like that was anything that we haven't physically seen him do. He's made that pass before. As a matter of fact, he's made that pass multiple times this season, but he physically cannot do it anymore. Now, TVD, everyone know what TVD's lost us these games. Logically speaking, games are won and lost by teams, right? Now, obviously, players can make contributions towards wins and losses. Obviously, of course, you're gonna make contributions, and some may make more contributions than others, whether that's winning or whether that's losing. And I will say, yes, TVD has made more contributions towards us losing games than he has made for us winning games, and that's okay, cool. I can vouch for that. Okay, cool, fine. But my problem is, when does our offensive coordinator go from being just a play caller to being a coordinator? I'm going to tell you what I mean. A play caller is a person that just calls a play. If it works, great. If it doesn't, fine. Move on to the next play. Fine, cool. What we need right now is a offensive coordinator. We need someone that is not just calling plays just for one play to work to see if it works or to see if it doesn't work. We need someone to call a play so they can see something to say, okay, if they're falling for that, let me tuck this away. We're gonna call this again, and we're gonna get them on that. I don't see enough of that. Now, the offense has gone stagnant. I did some math. We played 5 conference games. We have gone from averaging about 36, what it was, 36, 37, 38 and a half points a game, to now we are averaging 21.4 points per game in conference play. In conference play, that's what we're averaging. That's awful. We just had a game where we did not score a touchdown, running or passing. That's Gaddis level. That's Dan Enos level. And again, we can say, well, that's TVD's fault. Okay, cool. It's TVD's fault. But when is our offensive coordinator going to become a coordinator, not just a play caller? The reason I say this is this, right? I didn't expect something from Shannon Dawson that I've not seen in the past. I did not expect Shannon Dawson to involve the tight ends. I didn't expect Shannon Dawson to involve the running backs very much in the passing game. I didn't expect that from Shannon Dawson. Why didn't I expect it? Because he didn't do it. What did I expect from Shannon Dawson after being informed by someone on a message board and being informed by my dog QB? Is that this offense runs through a slot receiver. And what I've noticed over since conference play has started, and Dabo Swinney, he made mention of it. Not mention, he flat out said, hey, they want to force the ball to seven. They want to force the ball to seven. Now, outside of being darker and more explosive, what's up, Eldridge? What's the difference between Xavier Restrepo? I mean, what do Xavier Restrepo, Tank Dell, Quez Watkins, and Tavon Austin, what do they all have in common? They all play slot receiver. Tavon Austin caught nearly over 200 passes at West Virginia in 2 years. Tank Dell caught over 200 passes in 2 years at Houston. I think Quez Watkins may have caught 50 some odd passes, but 9 times out of 10, he was a slot receiver. Teams are not giving us X. That don't sound right because X is a ecstasy. But teams are not allowing for Xavier Restrepo to be the point man in this offense. Xavier Restrepo was the safety blanket. Xavier Restrepo on the bulk turnover, but what's the difference? Um, Xavier Restrepo is the point man in this entire operation. He's the primary read on in excess of 80% of all the passes. The problem with that is when you build an entire offense around a position like that, and teams have now been able to take that person away. Now you're left. Now you've left the quarterback to his own vices. Now he has to say, "Oh, now my weaknesses are being exposed. Now I'm throwing it late back across the middle. Now I can't figure out where someone is at in the zone. I'm hurt. We can't roll out passes anymore." And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, we're 9 games in the season. And yes, TVD deserves a bulk of the blame. I am not absolving TVD from any of this whatsoever. I'm not absolving TVD's performance whatsoever because as a quarterback that has been in college for 4 years, yes, you've had 3 offensive coordinators. So did Ja'Cory Harris. Get over it. Cool, fine. You've had that. Cool. Nobody's disputing that. But at but with the exception of well, no. Let me take that back. I saw someone put on Twitter that Shannon Dawson is somewhere in between Josh Gaddis and Rhett Lashley in terms of a offensive coordinator, right? And okay, cool, fine. I can vouch for that. But I'm very hard pressed to say that 9 games in a season, I have ever been a Miami Hurricane fan and felt like that the offensive coordinator is not trying to get multiple people involved in offense. 9 games into the season, we're asking, where's Brashard? 9 games in the season, where are the tight ends? 9 games in the season, where are the passes to the running back? 9 games into the season, where's Tyler Harrell? 9 games into the season, where's Jakari? 9 games into the season, we're asking these questions. Now, as an offensive coordinator, if my point man in the focal point of my offense is being shut down, then I have to coordinate another way for him to get open so that way I can help my quarterback. My opinion. I'm a novice when it comes to looking at a lot of this football stuff. I played the game, but I didn't play it at the highest of levels. But I can literally look on TV and I say, when Brashard Smith comes in the game and lines up to TVD's left, guess what Brashard is coming in the game to do? Brashard is coming in the game to run down the field. Brashard's coming in the game to run down the field. Why can't Brashard come in the game, line up to the left, and go in motion and get a little pop pass? Why can't he come in the game, motion into the backfield for a handoff or a toss play? Why can't he do that? It's like, and I've said this before, it's like the coordinator does not know how to use the weapons that we have. 9 games into the season, we shouldn't be asking these questions. Like, okay, first game of the season, first 3 games of the season, it's kind of like, okay, it's a filling out process, and Ellen, ain't no plays to save. It's the season is over. We should like it's cool. Let's talk about TVD. Let's dog TVD, right? Okay, cool, fine. You have no emotion. You sacked yourself 3 times. You have played in consecutive weeks some of the worst football we've ever seen from a quarterback at the University of Miami. Okay, cool. I just want to know what's an emergency. Ellen, there is no emergency. If we like TVD basically could be in a full body cast right now, and I feel like they will wheel him out on the field. There is no emergency. If like Ellen, the emergency is we are averaging 21.4 points a game since conference play. That's an emergency. The emergency is we just scored 6 points, two field goals. That's an emergency. Like, if the quarterback is struggling, and all we have asked, so you said is BS me. Ellen, I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I didn't expect for him to do stuff I've never seen him do. But at some point in time, you have to sit there and watch the tape and say that maybe we need to do something different. How does a player run an 80-yard touchdown, even though he's not credited with it because he fumbled it and Jacoby George fell on the ball? But how do you see that play and figure out, well, maybe I should find ways to get him more involved? But then he also said he doesn't design plays specifically for players. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. You're a play caller. It's like I'm thinking about this as an example, right? 2018, the University of Florida. We played them in 2018. We lost the game, gave up 11 sacks, whoop-de-woo, whatever the situation is like that. Felipe Franks was the starting quarterback for that particular season, right? Felipe Franks got hurt. We won't get anything different because he's too low. Ellen, this is my thing, though. Ellen, and you may say I'm crazy for saying this. Ellen, I don't care. Listen. Like, I'm so serious right now. I don't care if TVD goes back out there on the field against Florida State. I don't. What's going to bother me is that you're calling plays like you still at Houston. You're calling plays like you're still at Southern Miss, where you have no one else to throw the ball to. Like, I'm gonna keep it a stack, right? Jacoby George, my favorite offensive player. Why is Jacoby George relegated to just being an outside receiver? Why can't Jacoby George go in motion and get some of these passes? Why can't Jacoby George be the man to do some of this stuff? Why can't we use Jacoby George more? He's a starter. It's like you're afraid to do something. Now again, People are speculating. Maybe Mario is putting his hands back in the offense again. I don't know. I don't want to have that discussion because we'll know the answer to that at the conclusion of the season. Whether or not Shannon Dawson stays, that'll answer that particular question right then and there. Because if he leaves, then that means that he feels like, hey, you imposing too much, and I'm not able to do what I want to do. I'm out. So we'll get the answer to that question at the end of the season. I'm just regurgitating what Darcy pretty much told you. Ellen, but I'm glad you, yeah. So let's get back to my point. So, Felipe Franks goes down. They elevate Kyle Trask. Florida goes on to have a prolific passing offense, headlined by Kyle Trask. And in that same year, Dan Mullen, the Florida Gators are not able to run the ball. And again, this is not about Florida. This is about the difference between a play caller and a coordinator. Florida is absolutely awful running the ball that particular year. So they go back the very next year. Joe Milton is the quarterback. I think it's Joe Milton. Not Joe Milton, Emory Jones. Emory Jones is the quarterback. Dan Mullen realizes we're not going to be prolific like Kyle Trask. So what does the coordinator do? I'm not going to put my quarterback in that situation. I'm going to put together a prolific run game. We're going to go from being the worst rushing offense in the SEC to the best rushing offense in the SEC. How does that happen when you have the same players? Because he's a coordinator. When TVD threw those 3 interceptions against Georgia Tech, a coordinator would have said, you know what? Let's find more ways to maybe run the ball a little bit better. Let's find ways to get 0 involved. Let's find ways to get 3 involved a little bit more. Okay, 50-50 balls to Kobe, cool, fine. That's great. Let's use a little bit more motion. Let's allow for the off. Let's let the defense show us what they're doing. So that way, my quarterback can have somewhat of a pre-snap read. Okay, they're blitzing. Okay, they're rolling to cover 3. Okay, this may be cover 2. Okay, this may be cover 4. That's what a coordinator is going to do. The whole big discussion I see back on Twitter, Lane Kiffin versus Mario. I'm not going to overly indulge in that particular conversation, but what I will say about that is that Lane Kiffin did the same exact thing. We used to Lane Kiffin, fun and gun, all that stuff like that, USC, Alabama, all that good stuff like that. But guess what Ole Miss has been able to do? They've been able to run the ball. My quarterback is not where he needs to be. Let's run the ball a little bit more. And I said this at the beginning of the season. I said TVD does not deserve, if he's hurt, he does not deserve to go out on the field, hurt, injured, whatever the situation is, and be ridiculed about it because he physically cannot do the things that we want him to do. Unfortunately, that's not the case. He's getting ridiculed. Again, not saying that he shouldn't. But what happened? You took him out the field last year when he was hurt. He's hurt now. He's hurt now. You want to take him out the field. And then if you don't want to take him out the field, you're not calling better plays. Like, I hear people say, oh, bro, man, you look at the replay and guys are open. I don't care. Listen, let me tell you something. None of you know the plays. None of you know the route progressions. None of you know who is what read. Prime example, we're talking about the play. Ninja's still hurt and he's hurting us. Facts. But again, Ellen, They are allowing for him to hurt us because they are still wanting him to do things that he did in the first 4 games that he is not physically capable of doing anymore. I've watched him throw interceptions in 2 consecutive weeks, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, he doesn't miss those throws that bad. A healthy TVD does not underthrow a wheel route to Xavier Restrepo. A healthy TVD does not throw a underthrow a fade route to the back of the end zone. He doesn't do that. We can say whatever we want to say about the emotions, the lack of being a leader. We can say all of that. But one thing we also can say is that when he's on, he makes those throws. And we're still asking him to make throws that he's physically unable to make. I was listening to Canesville, and they popped up a question. They said, when the last time we ran a trick play? And they was like, bro, I don't know. I know we ran a trick play last year. The flea flicker. But let me talk about another trick play that we ran under Red Lashley. Brilliant design. It was a flea flicker where Will Mallory was in the slot. I guess he faked like a stalk block. Guy ran a slant behind it. He went up the sideline. TVD delivered a dot. Delivered a dot. So it's almost like Shannon Dawson is I'm having flashbacks to 2013 when we lost to Florida State and the announcer asked Coach Coley, looked like you guys didn't have any success in the second half. What happened? And Coach Coley said, we practiced against man-to-man all week. Second half, they came on his own, and that was that. So it's like either the coordinator is not calling plays to beat zone coverage, or the quarterback cannot read it. Or if he's reading it, again, he physically cannot get the ball there. And I think it's a mixture of both. I'm not going to put 100% of this on TVD. I can't. I'd be stupid to do that. But anyway, getting back to that particular play. Dawson has limitations that have been ignored. QB, it's like I said, when you literally built an offense around a slot receiver. Teams have taken a slot receiver away, and now you have no plan B. Like you have no plan B. Like, think about this, bro. These ninjas had Xavier Restrepo motion down like a tight end to block. That's just like what they, We said that was crazy when they had Will Mallory doing it. And now, y'all are going to put Xavier Restrepo. I'm watching the game. We're in the champagne room. X goes in motion. And he looks back at TVD. And TVD said, no. Come here. Line up beside Van Wilder. You blocking him. Why is a 5'8" receiver blocking a 200? Bruh, I can't even get mad. What's up, Bird? I can't even get mad because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, this can't be real. It has to be something wrong with the feed. This has to be some bad feedback. There is no way that y'all just motioned Xavier Restrepo down to stand beside Van Wilder and he's going to block. What's up, Bird? There's no way. There's no way that the offensive coordinator said we're going to take Xavier Restrepo and put him beside Van Wilder, and we want you to help seal the edge. And people want me to blame everything on TVD. Bro, I can't. I can't. I can't, dog. What you say? You said we need to give TVD some time. I didn't say that. How is it so hard to get Rashad the ball? We keep playing, taking with the defense. QB, QB, I'm glad you brought that back up. You're a wild boy on Twitter. You're a wild boy. I ain't gonna lie. You're a wild boy. You're a wild boy. QB, let me let me see where your memory at. Remember against Miami of Ohio, and we was asking, um, it's like you streaming. I don't know, bro. I'm kind of in a bad spot, so it may be that I don't know. I don't know, Bird. I mean, just like it after it's over with. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, cause I don't know. I'm at my favorite truck stop, but the only downfall is like the service isn't that good, right? So, but back to QB. QB, remember Miami of Ohio? Remember back old Miami, Ohio? And we said, why are we not doing things? And it was two responses that people gave. These are the two responses. One of the responses was, we saving plays. We don't want Texas A&M to see all our plays. All right, cool. That's understandable. The second excuse was, why force stuff that's not there? Let's take what the defense gives us. So it was fine to take what the defense gave us in the first four games. Now everybody's upset talking about, oh man, the offense is too conservative. We said that against Miami of Ohio. Blow these people out. Like literally, somebody told me, they said, oh, well, bruh, man, ain't nobody worried about that. Man, we blew out Bethune-Cookman. We scored 70 points against Bethune-Cookman last year, and you see how that turned out? I don't care. Put 70 on them again. Bruh, what was the final score against Miami Ohio? 31 to what? Bruh, talking about some saving some plays. And look where we at. 9 games in. Somebody told Groove on Twitter, bruh, I really feel like Dawson is saving something for Florida State. Nigga, what? Saving what? For who? Nigga, man, I know, bruh. I told Groove, bruh, this can't be real. Did this nigga just say that he feels like we saving stuff for Florida State? Man, bruh, if you... What's up? What tight end do we trust enough to throw at this point? Van Wilder. He's the leading tight end catcher. Riley Williams. I don't. You know what? I don't even blame Riley Williams for dropping that ball. You know why I don't? Because the because they probably didn't practice that play. They probably don't practice that play. He was shocked that he got the ball. He probably was shocked that he got the ball. But Van Wilder, unfortunately, side note, Bird, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Bird, I promise you I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I promise you I'm not mad. Explain to me why our strength is the running game, but teams still playing 6-7 coverage. QB, I just like, bro. It's like, bro. It should be so much more creativity in the run game. Like, now it's all come on, shy. The man is giving this man the whole playbook. The wide receiver. That's all. Bruh, I agree. But this my only rebuttal is, what are the progressions? Which brings me back to the play about the RPO at the goal line. The steal shot that most people have in circulation is when Mark Fletcher is already being tackled. If you watch that whole situation all the way through, the safety slow played that. He saw Kobe Young leaking out. And but I will say this though. I'll say this though. Selling it. He probably could have did a much better job selling it. But at the same token, let's say TVD did keep it and he did throw it to Kobe. How many of y'all believe or trust that TVD wouldn't have tried to gun it in there and would have got picked off or knocked down? How many of y'all, I mean, let's be honest here. How many of y'all felt like that if TVD would have pulled that ball and threw it to Kobe Young, how many of y'all feel like that TVD would have completed that pass? Because I didn't. I looked when he handed it off and I saw that he popped up in the back of the zone. You know what I thought about? I thought about Virginia last year when Jay Garcia literally had the tight end wide open. And Jay Garcia said, no, I'm going to run this in myself. I'm not about to mess this up. I'm going to take it into my own hands. That's what I thought. I said, if TVD pulls this ball and throws it to Kobe, this could be an interception. This could literally be an interception. Or it's knocked down. And the first thing everyone was going to say is, why didn't he hand the ball off? Mark Fletcher's averaging 6 yards a carry. The offensive line is blocking so well. Let's go ahead and do that. That's what people would have said. Not saying Nassau, you would have said that. South Coast, okay, cool. South Coast, cool. You keep it in the beam. You wouldn't have said that. But I know a lot of people that would have. A lot of people would have said, why didn't he hand the ball off? He's been struggling all game. Think about it. He's been struggling all game. At that particular point, he had already thrown 2 interceptions and a third one had been dropped. At that point. So, I don't have a problem with it. Give it to Mark Fletcher. He won it for us last week. Let him get an opportunity to win it again for us. I'm cool with it. But no, like I said, Bert, I'm not stressed. We want DVD to be creative and bland. Those receivers are not as good. Hey, QB. QB. Hey, dog. Hey, we here. QB. On Twitter, after the first 4 games, I saw some people with the hashtag perception versus reality. And the point that they were trying to make, that the perception was, Ohio State got these good receivers. Texas got these good receivers. Alabama got this. USC got that. A&M got this and all that. But the reality is, look at our 3. So if we're to believe the reality, why are our 3 wide receivers not taking care of business? Now, I know the pushback will be, well, look at TVD. TVD's not doing this. Okay, cool. But Cal McCord ain't doing much. And Marv ain't missing no meals. If the receiver's like that. Shannon Dawson's at practice. He's at practice. There's so many easy things that we could do to get these receivers the ball if perception was really a perception and the reality was really the reality. And we know it's not. Because the real perception was that our guys had a good 4-week run and it's come to a halt. And the perception guys are the reality and they out there doing what they're supposed to do. Simple as that. But yeah, QB, good times. And I ain't talking about the Evans family either. Got you, big dog. I get where you coming from. It's annoying to me because the whole team is elevated besides the most important position, that's quarterback. We're going nowhere fast. Any incompetent QB. But Bird, this is my thing. Like you can have an incompetent QB if your offensive coordinator knows how to move those pieces around on their chessboard. And unfortunately, right now, we got an offensive coordinator that's playing checkers. You know, in chess, you think 2 to 3 moves, maybe even 4 moves ahead. In checkers, you just like, well, I'm gonna jump him here, and maybe I may get a double jump or something like that. That's what that is. But again, like I told Ellen, I'm not opposed to putting TVD back out there on the field against Florida State. But don't put him back out there and y'all gonna do the same crap that y'all been doing. Because again, think about this. If y'all gonna do the same crap that y'all already doing, that's not fair to Emory, that's not fair to Jakari. Because they're gonna be put in the same situation. Again, we are averaging 21.4 points per game in conference play. That's what we averaging in conference play. Bruh, how do you, now again, I don't want nobody to think I'm giving TVD any slack. But bruh, we have been, we're scoring 2 less touchdowns in conference play. We're scoring 2 less touchdowns in conference play. Against conference foes that are not that good. Georgia Tech is not that good this year. Virginia's not that good this year. NC State really not that good this year. Clemson not that good this year. From what they were. We're better. And even with TVD doing that, we still should be scoring more than 21.4 points a game. We still shouldn't be in no situation where we kicking 2 field goals. When TVD sacked himself, he took himself out the game. At that point, I knew the structure. Football ain't fun, man. It's not. Mario is known for boring and bland offenses, but we trust him with OC. QB, I've been told that Mario don't know about X's and O's. He don't listen. QB, I heard Mario doesn't have an offense. He goes from not having an offense to, hey, Mario got his hands back on offense again. Like, brother, which side of the street you want to be on? Don't come back over here with us when it's convenient, when you've been over there hot shotting it with the other folks over there like that. Mr. Overdose, our wide receivers are not elite like Harrison. Mr. Overdose, hey, that's perception. That's what I was told. I was told it was a perception that Marvin Harrison was elite. That's what I was told. If you got Twitter, Mr. Overdose, please go on Twitter and type in hashtag perception versus reality. I think that was the hashtag. And see what you come up with. See what you come up with. Wide receivers are done with TVD. Kobe started jogging on routes in the second half. I was listening to Flo and them last night. And no, not Flo. I was listening to Canesville. And I think they said Jacoby George had, cussed TVD out. I can neither confirm nor deny, but it wouldn't surprise me because you got a certain segment of the fan base that's talking about Jacoby George, you don't run the right routes. And 4 or 5 of TVD's interceptions have been thrown to you because you don't know what you're doing. So I cuss him out too because it's like you making me look bad. We don't know if our wide receivers are elite. They don't get enough targets or chances to get 50. Birdstone, I'm gonna tell you about this, bro. Elite. That elite word gets thrown around a lot. And I'm gonna be honest. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Keon Coleman to me are elite. Rome Odunze, Xavier Worthy, A.D. Mitchell, who's another top receiver? Luther Burden. Like, Luther Burden probably elite, though. Luther Burden probably elite, too. But, like, some of those other receivers, they're good receivers. Right? And I think that's what we have. We have some good receivers, right? We have some good receivers. But I don't think even if they were getting the ball more, I don't think they're elite. Because to me, Kobe could be elite, but I don't think Kobe is gonna run a 4-4 or 4-3. I don't think that. If he ran that, I think he would be elite. But I think he still has some things that he can work on. You right. Look at NC State quarterback. He was terrible, made enough plays. I feel Jakari is better. I know Jakari is better than him. Eldridge. Right. Think like, and you know what? I gotta tip my hat to Brendan Armstrong. Because think about let's go back in let's go back in time for a second. Let's Marty McFly this thing. Brennan Armstrong and Tyler Van Dyke were looked at as two of the best quarterbacks in the ACC at the conclusion of the 2021 season. And look at where we are right now. Brennan Armstrong is essentially a wildcat quarterback, and we want to run TVD out of town. Man, when life comes at you fast sometimes, and that's crazy because you probably a person that just started watching college football right now. If you told them the NC State Miami game had two quarterbacks in it that at one point in time in 2021 were looked at as two of the best quarterbacks in the ACC, man, they'll say you crazy. Because look at where we at. This man threw three, could have been four interceptions, and Brendan Armstrong is a wildcat quarterback. It was so bad that MJ Morris probably shouldn't have come back into the game, and Dave Dorian said, no, 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 Brendan, you're not throwing a pass this game. You're not throwing it. So put your, because I seen him over there. Brendan was taking the gloves out. Dave Dorian, no, 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 put them back on. Put them back on. Concepcion will play quarterback and throw a pass before you throw another pass. For real. Birds thought I can't put this on Dawson not when his QB have had success under him and less arm talent in TVD. Gino can sling it, but his arm talent in TVD, but Dawson may look like this on Tyler. Birdstone. My only rebuttal to that would be this. Tavon Austin, regardless of what he did in the NFL, Tavon Austin, at least in the last 15 years, is a top 5 football player, not just a receiver. He's a top 5 football player in the last 15 years. Tank Dell is making individuals look crazy in the NFL. Right? So, not to take anything away from Shannon Dawson, but you were given one elite level player and a very, very good player as well. So, I just don't know how you know what, Birdstone? I'm glad you brought that up. Because now it makes it even crazier. Bruh, how can you call plays or have called plays for Tavon Austin and you don't know how to call play? But you know what? Hey, but you know what the rumor was? The rumor was Dana Holgerson was calling them plays, not Shannon Dawson. That's the rumor. Dana Holgerson was calling them plays, not Shannon Dawson. So, bruh, think about how bad our look could be if in 2 consecutive offensive coordinator hires, we hired the yes man. We hired the guy that took orders from somebody else. No, this is the play you're going to call. You call it. But this is the play. But I'm going to let you call it. Because we know that's what the case was in Michigan because the whole investigation. We know that. And like I said, before this season, Groove interviewed somebody that covers the Houston Cougars, and that's essentially what they said. Now, they could be a bitter fan, but they fans didn't seem too upset when he left the building. We can take with that whatever we want to take with it, but It ain't all on T. It ain't all on T. It ain't all on Dawson. It ain't all on TVD. They both are equally responsible for this foolishness. Lenore said, "Why do we have a tight end?" Lenore, you know why we got a tight end? To line up on the end of the line of scrimmage and be an additional blocker. Like, bruh, we put bro, we got McCoy out there with the number 81 jersey on as an additional blocker. That's what he's here for. When Van Wilder was brought here, everyone said, "Why are we bringing him in here?" Oh, bro, we need another strong blocker. Ain't no tight end coming here to catch no passes. Ellen calling me a grifter. Mario's a grifter that don't catch passes. Which game was it we only scored 3 points in the first half? That should have told us where we were going. Oh my God. That was Georgia Tech. When that Georgia Tech, we only scored 3 points. Bruh. Mr. Overdose, I do have Twitter. I would do that. Yo, please do. And Mr. Overdose, when you do it, make sure it's someone from a Kane page, because what they're gonna show is Xavier Restrepo, Jacoby George, Kobe Young. And they gonna show, I think the image was Xavier Worthy, Michael Harris, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Keon Coleman. And the hashtag was perception versus reality, right? So that's what that is. Oh, Bird thought two things. Dawson was on the OC as a head coach. Two defense were tough back then. Oh, that's essentially what I just said. More. Uh, oh, yeah. Nassau is only really two wide receivers. Yeah, Nassau, yeah, it's only really two wide receivers. So, Shad, please tell me what you think should happen for here on out. Nassau, empty the clip. What's up, Brother Jay? Empty the clip. There, put him on the field. Put Rashad on the field. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you guys something, right? Jane Bland, whatever you want to tell you something that Rhett Lashley did, turn back from suspension or whatever the situation was. You know what Rhett Lashley did? Everybody wants to talk about all TVD did was throw it to Rambo and Harley. But guess who was the second? Guess who was the person that had the second most touchdowns on the team, and they didn't even play the entire season? Rooster. Rooster had more touchdowns than Charleston Rambo did in 2021. Ball. Let's like I don't want to live too far in the past, but let's talk about that. Remember the swing pass to Rooster against North Carolina? Y'all remember that play? Or Rooster gave my man the dead leg and took it to the crib? Remember the pass to Rooster where the Florida State defender hit Rooster? Rooster ate it and went in the end zone. Remember that? We can say whatever we want about Rhett Lashley, but we cannot say Rhett Lashley did not make it a point of emphasis to get guys the ball. So Nassau, that's what we should do here on out. Get people the ball, man. Put Jacoby George in motion. Jacoby George is like a cat in a phone booth. He got that type of wiggle, but you're not using him in that facet. It's like they had like think about this, bro. We literally called a dual backfield where we had Xavier Restrepo lined up on one side, and I think it was either Mark Fletcher, Don Cheney, whatever, and sent X in motion, dump the pass off. I can't empty the clip, man. Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Y'all might say I'm crazy. I'm not conceding this. I'm not conceding a loss to Florida State. I'm not doing it. The reason I'm not doing it, Florida State ain't got no good defense. That's why I'm not doing it. And we got too much, like Dion say, we got too much doggone talent on the bench to be scoring, averaging 21.4 points in conference play. We got too much doggone talent on the bench, man. Got too much talent on the bench to be sitting out here talking about, bro, we trying to play for overtime. Man, I tell you what, it ain't gonna be no. What did Shannon Dawson say? Playing conservative get you beat? That's in the thumbnail. Maybe I should put playing for overtime get you beat. Wasn't just Tavon else. Bro, Birdstone. I know that. I know Stedman Bailey was there. Stedman Bailey was one of my favorite receivers back then. But Tavon Austin caught 114 balls. Stedman Bailey caught 113. But you a real like Noel Devine. Noel Devine good too. But Birdstone, that lets me know. You know what? A lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't remember still 70 points on Clemson with Tavon Austin running the same play. People will forget about Stedman Bailey. Stedman Bailey was a problem. For real, for real. But getting back to Shannon Dawson, you got what they say. You got to drop you got to drop them. Just relaying it onto the field. That's what it's looking like right now. Anthony Chickalo said Mark D'Onofrio was one of the smartest coaches he's ever been around, or the smartest coach he's ever been around. So, what else did X supposed to say? X is the ultimate team guy. I wouldn't expect X to say nothing out the way because think about this. Why would X say anything? X, this man came in the building and said, "Guess what? You are the offense. Everything else is built around you." I would say that too. Dang, you had to reconnect. But Mr. Overdose, like I was saying, X hasn't done anything that warrants to take him off the field. That's the problem. So you gotta figure out a way where Brashard and X can be on the field at the same time, or Ray can be on the field at the same time. I don't know, but like I said, it's looking like Dana Holgorsen was calling them plays. And QB, you know what's the funny thing about Coley being under Jimbo? Coley didn't call plays nothing like Jimbo Fisher. Like Jimbo Fisher. Because that's another thing about Coley. And I don't know if it, QB, I don't know if it was you or it was somebody that said they lost respect for Coley for throwing a halfback pass in the snow. But I'm going to tell you something else. I didn't have to worry about I didn't have to worry about James Coley not getting Duke Johnson the football. I didn't have to worry about him not getting Clyde for the football. I didn't have to worry about him not getting Stacy Cole football. I didn't have to worry about that. I didn't think, bruh. I didn't have to worry. Listen. We as Kane fans, even though the golden era is something that is gonna be marred with, bro. If you would have just fired Mark D'Onofrio, you could. But one thing that we didn't have to worry about is whether or not James Coley was going to get the playmakers the ball. We didn't have to worry about that because we knew he was going to get them. Shot is not a clip, it's a magazine. But you know what, Nassau? How about this? We need to empty the entire infantry. We need the whole infantry. Go Tigers. Go Tigers. Where you been at, buddy? Where you been at? Go Tigers. Don't let me find out that you Tyler from Spartanburg. Don't let me find out that you Tyler from Spartanburg. So, what's up, Shot? What's up, Canes Dolphin? Man, I'm out here. I'm behind. Shot the clip is being saved for FSU. That's what somebody told Groove. So maybe they know something we don't know. Canes 28-14. Canes Dolphins. That would be the score if Shannon Dawson go. Let me tell you. Shannon Dawson don't need to be watching the Florida State film. Shannon Dawson needs to go and watch some West Virginia film. That's what we need to go do. That's what we need to go do. Don't care who the quarterback is, brother. We about to, bro. Bro. I still remember when Baylor had no quarterback. That was one of the years that UNC won the ACC. Bro, Baylor had no quarterback. They literally ran read option the entire game. Ran for 700 yards on UNC. So that's why I'm sitting up here incompetent quarterback. If you are a coordinator If you really like that, when it comes down to calling these plays and stuff like that, you will find a way to, especially when you got the talent advantage, you'll find a way to pull out a W. Kyle Shanahan doing it in the NFL, but still got to work with some stuff. But if you like that, you'll find a way to get over that for real. The Wi Fi got him. It's crazy. Noel Divine Faster in the back. We got not the same. Oh, no, QB, no. Noel Divine different. I ain't talking. What now? Chris Johnson? It's this fast? As a matter of fact, Chris Johnson probably the same size as Noel Divine was. But again, we out here talking about red shirt and running backs. For what? Bring Chris Johnson off the bench. If you don't bring Chris Johnson off the bench talking about you going to red shirt somebody, bro, for what? And y'all got 3 more running backs committing, and then you talk about you want to red shirt somebody. Mario, what are you doing? Talk about red shirt a running back that's we're talking about a person that is one of the fastest people that has ever lived. Like think about this. Think about Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson is one of the fastest people ever in the state of Florida. And you talking about red shirt? Man, chill out. It ain't even that. We piling the ball, then all of a sudden we start throwing. Studio. That may go back to, and again, Studio, like I said, I'm not going to absolve TVD. That may go back to what they was talking about. TVD got the ability to change out of plays. So maybe TVD feel like, all right, well, we got them beat up enough. Let me throw the ball. So that could be the case. So I'm not going to disagree with that. And I don't know how Ray doesn't get 20 snaps at wide receiver during the game. Ray ain't going to get no 20 snaps because I think Ray hurt. It was me. Yeah, QB. Okay. I was just making sure. X might have done anything not to be on the field, but TVD damn. That's all. Listen, I agree. All I'm saying is I'm not going to get bent out of shape if TVD goes back out on the field again. Because at the end of the day, if you're not going to do anything differently from an offensive play caller perspective, if you're not going to find different personnel groupings to put on the field to take advantage of some of our strengths, it don't matter who the quarterback is. But no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is, with the current quarterbacks that we have, if you're not going to do something better with the personnel groupings that we currently have, it don't matter who steps on the field. Coley even knew how to get Mike James the ball. Wait a minute. Coley wasn't here with Mike James. Mike James was a senior Duke Johnson's freshman year, and we still had Jed Fish. James Coley came at 13, so he was here 13, 14, and 15. So now, but you talk about somebody getting the ball. Jed didn't have a lot to work with, but I still remember that Kansas State game, and Jed and we played Notre Dame in 2012. Jed was putting some formations out there. Now we wasn't doing nothing with the formations. But Jed Fish was putting some stuff out there on the field, man. Why they keep motioning X in the back to the H back? It seems they made effort not to throw him the ball too much and TV check. Studio, listen. When I saw them putting X in and blocking like that, I don't know what the mental health facility is in Raleigh, North Carolina, but whoever thought that was a good idea, they shouldn't have left Raleigh, North Carolina. Ain't no way. Nah, never. I'm with my coach. I'm with my coach team. No, go Tigers. I ain't saying you got out on your team. I'm saying Let me find out you Tyler, you called in and you let Dabo know, hey, we ain't happy with the product, get better. That's what I'm talking about. But okay, it's all love when you here. Dawson got Steel fired and Venables hired. Dana Holgerson got at this point. Dana Holgerson got Kevin Steele fired, even though Jakari is our emergency quarterback and are having a heart attack in every game. Ellen, these people are politicians. I've never heard someone say something like that. Oh well, he's the emergency quarterback. What does that mean? What does it mean? They need to play JB if that's gonna be the playbook. That's all. This my whole thing, brother. I don't want to put Jakari Brown or even Emory Williams in a situation where they're not going to be given the best opportunity to win. Now, what transpired against Clemson, I'm gonna be honest. That's not gonna be replicated. We can't expect for a team to fumble the ball going in for a touchdown. We can't expect it. We can't expect for some of the stuff Cade Klubnik was doing. We can't expect for Florida State and Louisville to do that. We can't expect it. Like, I'm just being honest. I'm happy that we got the win, but we got to put everything into perspective. We cannot expect for that to happen again. Just being real. CJ Speed should be on the field, period. People talking about he's small, but Tyler Brown for Clemson has a different type of speed. He 175. I don't even think Chris Johnson that big. That type of speed need to be on the field. Facts, it need to be on the field. He don't know to change that fourth and goal out of shotgun and run a QB sneak. Studio. Studio. Hey, check this out. This go back to the physical limitations. If the quarterback cannot physically, let me turn some light on because y'all be saying, because somebody said they ain't know that I was on the screen. I know I'm a little dark, but cut me some slack. But QB, if our quarterback is physically unable to bend down and take a under center snap for a quarterback sneak, he don't need to be on the field. So you think Dawson is bad? No, Nassau, I don't think Dawson is bad. I just don't think I just don't think he is as good as some people made him out to be. And as we sit here again watching how things have transpired in conference play, we can blame again. We can blame TVD again. Like I said, I started the video off. I'm not absolving TVD from anything. I promise you, I'm not absolving TVD from anything. But at the same time, at some point, Shannon Dawson has to go from just being a play caller to being a coordinator. And you need to go in there and look at the pieces that you have. There's no reason that Jacoby George should only be relegated to lining up outside the numbers. There's no reason that Brashard Smith should only come in to run fade routes down the field and then go back to the bench. There's no reason to sit up here and talk about, oh, we redshirting Chris Johnson. What are we redshirting him for? He's a running back. Let him, like again, if the offensive line is blocking so good, run some sweeps for him. He wants to run outside anyway. Again, I'm a novice. It's too much going on. So again, like I said, too many people are starting to say, oh, well, maybe it's a conflict of styles between him and Dawson. And my thing is this, like, bro, Mario, if you really are sitting up here preventing explosive plays from being on the field because you want to play ball control, play for overtime, bro, that's a problem. That's a problem. Not a small one, a big one. That's a problem. Facts. QB, that was Jed. Jed fixed the Corey down to 5. Yeah, QB, that was Jed. Jed was here for 2011 and 2012. A very underrated hire. And I think Jed would have stayed, but, he got the job with the Jaguars. True, I guess it was. Dana Tyler made some good points. But he said it was in a disrespect. Oh, yeah. Tyler emptied the clip. Clemson and turnover. It's a lose-lose situation. If Emmy and Jakari comes in, it'll be Jake Garcia. But Ellen, I don't even want to compare it to a Jake situation because when Jake came in the game, we already knew it was BS. We already knew it was over with. We just we were just waiting for the end credits. You know what I'm saying? We were just waiting for the end credits to appear. We knew it was crap. But I think right now we have much better skill position guys, or they're being coached better. Let me say that. They're being coached better and they are in advantageous situations. So I think that Jakari and Emery would be in a better situation than Jake. But all of that is dependent upon, are you going to use the full allotment of the weapons that you have? And if the answer is no, then yes, Ellen, it's going to be a Jake situation all over again. But I think it'll actually be worse. I don't know why more teams don't do the Burley shove like Philly. I don't know either. Shy low key speaking face right now about the Canes though. It is a conflict. Look at how Mario almost screwed Justin Herbert. But you know what, Mr. Overdose? I'm gonna tell you something about that. Justin Herbert was recruited to play for Mark Helfrich. Justin Herbert was recruited to be the I'm trying to, I can't think of what the word is. Anyway, he was recruited to replace the best quarterback, arguably in Oregon history, and that's not what he did. You know what I mean? He again, somebody was talking about he had a good year that last year, and I look back and I say, bro, Tua had the same numbers Justin Herbert had, and Tua didn't even finish the whole season. Dawson's skin got popped and he's struggling to adjust. QB, that's what I'm saying. He built the entire scheme around a slot receiver, and teams are not letting us have a slot receiver. And now TVD out there looking googly eyed because but again, like I say, I like to be objective. I like to be objective. Let's think about this. I'm asking, and this is a question to anybody in the chat. Let's say you work a job, right? Your supervisor or whatever, whoever, someone trains you to do a job. They train you to do a job during the okay, well, how about this? Not a job. Let's say y'all are Tyler Van Dyke. Shannon Dawson introduces an offense to you and say, look, your primary read on each of these passing plays is to number 7. He teaches you that during the spring. You are to reiterate that in the summer, and then you are to double down on it in the fall. A bye week comes, pause, and all of a sudden, teams have film to say what Dabo Swinney said. Oh, 4 is nice, but they want to force the ball to 7. So what do like realistically? What are you to do if for the majority of a year you have been told this is the read and it's not there anymore? Objectively, what would you do? Objectively, what would you do? Right? Overdose, that was the word on Mario. He's not developing a quarterback. When he was at Oregon, people just said no. They just made Oregon's fans. Studio, I don't think scheme is okay. He just don't understand rhythm. He called a play to screw up flow of offense when it's flowing. And Studio, that goes back to what I'm saying is that coincides with the thumbnail in the video. There's a difference between a play caller and a coordinator. There is no bro. Let's really break this down. We are scoring 2 less touchdowns in conference play. We can't put all that on the quarterback. We can't. We cannot put all that on the quarterback. Right? He can get a bulk of it because, again, a wild stat. You've thrown 10 interceptions in 4 games. That's crazy. But at the same time, we can't get the ball to 7 anymore. We can't get the ball to 4. We can't get the ball to 3. So TVD is a robot, not a QB. No, Ellen. He's a system quarterback. And we all know. So what happens when you're asked to do something outside of the system? You turn the ball over. When you're asked, and again, at the collegiate level, that's fine to be a system quarterback, because again, we all, if we watch the NFL, we all got different NFL teams that we prefer, right? At the end of the day, but at this particular point in junction, we're Miami Hurricane fans, and that's what we want. That's what we want. We want our team to win. We want to hold up a national championship. We want to go back to the glory days. But again, TVD was taught something, in my opinion, spring, summer, fall, and now it's not there. And now he's being asked to go outside. Because think about this. Think about this. Xavier Restrepo is low-key averaging 11.4 yards per catch. That's a first down. So think about how teams have to put so much emphasis on Xavier Restrepo. He's not a game breaker, but just think about that. Teams are focusing in on Xavier Restrepo now. And Shannon Dawson is not providing alternative options. So if you're not giving me alternative options, and again, like I said, everybody say, oh, people are open and people are open. Yes, people were open against when Josh Gaddis was here. People were open with Rhett Lashley. People were open with Dan Enos. I'm tired of hearing about people being open and no one is telling me what the play call is. No one is telling me what the route tree is. No one is telling me the progression. All everybody wants to say, oh, well, they're open. Okay, they're open. Do you mind taking a whiteboard? Shout out to Wholesome. Do you mind taking a whiteboard out and drawing this play up and telling me what the first, second, third, and fourth read are? So that way we all on the same page. So we all as a fan base can collectively say, oh, yeah, the second read was open. Because y'all may be saying somebody open, and that's the fourth doggone read. So that's why I don't care about someone saying somebody's open. Or they open within the first 2 reads. What is it? So what Mr. Overdose said. But Shad, this does not explain the running plays used versus Texas A&M versus North Carolina. Mr. Overdose, this is what I'm gonna say about the Texas A&M game. Texas A&M played a lot of man coverage. And every defense has a weakness in it. And I think that's why we were so successful against Texas A&M, because they ran man coverage a lot, or for the majority of the time. They ran a lot of man coverage, and our guys have beat man coverage. The problem is, and I love the Kevin Beard hire, but the problem is, it seems like this is where we get to that whole how good the receivers are. You just can't just be a receiver to beat man coverage. You got to know where to go in these particular zones, and I think that also could be a problem. Our guys not sitting down in the zone, and I have to put that on Kevin Beard, because you can release all you want to, but once you release and you get that release and you figure out, oh, it's zone coverage, now you got to feel your way around, right? And that's my thing. But the running plays, like I said, it's just it's different. Like the formations are so condensed now. Like, bro, we literally had Xavier Restrepo lined up next to Van Wilder on the line of scrimmage. Like, bro, who does that? Like, I understood. Like, we did it with Kobe, and I'm like, okay, well, Kobe's big. Pause. But y'all are doing it with Xavier Restrepo. Like, what are we doing? Play caller also knows when your QB is struggling, calls plays accordingly. Like, stick with the run and red zone TVD. Should not have the red zone pick. What studio? We talked about that, and I put an either or out there. which you're saying he should have handed the ball off, which I agree because I don't trust you to do that. But where I disagree is you said a play caller. No, a coordinator. A coordinator does that. A play caller is just calling plays on the sheet. And I'm not saying Shannon Dawson is just a play caller, but he's showing signs that he's not really a coordinator like talking about. TVD is a robot. Algorithm malfunctions when Reed won his screw. Studio, I agree. If Xavier Restrepo is covered up, because again, we got to understand this. Sometimes you are asked to stay on a read a little bit longer than you should. Just because a guy may have to clear something and you're calling a play hoping that a guy is open, right? And that's not what it is. And again, we're not doing enough to get Xavier Restrepo open. So, maybe, but on every pick TVD threw, it was 2 additional receivers wide open. I mean, studio. I just said that again. I can agree with that. But again, tell me, the 2 receivers that are open. Tell me where they are in the progression, because I would be hard pressed to think that if the second read is a wide open receiver and TVD doesn't make the throw, I'm hard pressed to believe that. As much as I'm saying this about Dawson, but objectively I have to say this as well. If you're telling me that the second read is running wide open and TVD doesn't make it, then we having a completely different conversation here. But I don't think that's the case. I think some of these wide open receivers situations are based on the fact that they know what the primary read is, and so they're cheating. In essence, right? Go Tigers, 14-point difference is why maybe the ACC is built different. Tell me about no, go Tigers. P5 is built different, and Shannon Dawson has not caught up. We have one play feed X. I mean, that's what it was in North Carolina. What he got, like 17, 18 targets? Yes, but those people were open with the terrible O-line TVD is having all day, so no matter the play, he's throwing it right to them. I mean, I understand. I understand what you're saying, studio. But again, when you talk about the terrible O-line, I think you're talking about a different offensive. You're talking about a different offensive philosophy, and we're talking about a different, what you want to call it. You're talking about a different. You're talking about a completely different set of progressions, reads, route trees. So I don't think we can compare these receivers being open to the receivers being open on the Gaddis or even the receivers being open on the Lashley, because we're talking about completely different, situations here. But I understand what you're saying. But again, if Xavier Restrepo is the primary read on the majority of these plays, which at this particular point we can say that, how long is he required to stay on X before he goes somewhere else? That's the question. A-Shot, watch student of the game with Steve-O. I've checked him out a few times. That's why I think QB should be taught sometimes to start with your third read and progress backwards sometime. Boy, I'd be a great coach. Studio, that suggestion that you just made, that may be something that a coordinator would suggest. A play caller is just gonna call the play. That's just what it is. LNV first read X, second read X, third read dance around, fourth read. Now, and the fourth read is just to fall down. That's the fourth read. Using the tight end as an extra blocker help the defense when only 3 receivers go out on routes and 6-7 man coverages against Virginia. The pick on Brashard was 4 receivers against 6 DBs. That pick that he threw with Brashard against Virginia, I'm trying to think. The Virginia interception to Brashard. Which one was that? Because I thought he only threw 2 interceptions against Virginia. I thought he threw the one. No. Wait a minute. You right. But again, QB, that goes back to kind of what I'm saying. If they back in zone, the guys have to know how to get to a zone, get to that open spot. Like, so, when you're dealing with zone, the quarterback and the receiver has to be on the same page. And I don't know, again, it's just a lot, man. I'm all right with all the coordinators. I'm gonna chalk it up. Year one, getting to know each other and coaching chemistry. Studio, I could chalk it up to that too, but I cannot chalk it up to the fact that you are simply refusing to use the full allotment of weapons that you have. I can chalk that up to, you know, getting to know each other. And I can't chalk that up because you know what you're getting. You again, think of like again, all these people, not all of them, because I don't want to be all encompassing. A select group of these people were talking about um, Chris Johnson is so fast. Um, the wide receiver that transferred here from Alabama, you can see the speed difference, right? So the running back room is so deep. So it's like y'all have said all of these things leading up to the season, and then when it's time to show it, when it's time when teams have showed we're not going to let you have number 7, and it's like those practice reports turn out to be lies. And again, I'm gonna be honest with you. After what Tyler Harrell did at Virginia with letting the ball and the kickoff return, yeah, I didn't care that he didn't play Saturday anyway. I didn't care because that was crazy. I forgot who said it, but because a QB has time doesn't mean someone is open. That's a good that's a good point. Too much is being made about the time, and sometimes you got time because just that guys are dropping back in coverage, and it's 5-on-3, but it doesn't mean someone's open. So that fourth read, go Tigers, you wrong for that. Shot in the champagne room when X isn't open, he just throws the ball hoping. Yeah. I mean, Ellen, all jokes aside, but yeah, that's essentially what he's doing. It's like somebody's back there. Somebody. Not really because in 2021 when he was dropping bombs to Rambo and Harley, I was screaming at TVD, everyone praising it, but I said it, then he was staying. But Studio, this is my pushback. And I'm assuming that you just got here and you missed me saying it. But Rooster missed a good chunk of that season, came back. Rooster ended up having the second most touchdowns on that 2021 team behind Tyler Van Dyke. He had more touchdowns than Rambo and Harley. So, yes, he was staring some receivers down, but again, it wasn't Romello Brinson. It was Keyshawn Smith. Keyshawn Smith wasn't as dependable as we needed him to be over on that opposite side. So I could understand TVD staring down guys then because it's like I'm staring down the guys to get the ball. Will Mallory caught quite a few passes in 2021. So it wasn't just the Harley and Rambo show like some people want to make it out to be, but no one talks about that Rooster, after coming back from his suspension, had the most touchdowns of a skilled player that year. He had the most touchdowns. I think Rooster had like 11 touchdowns? Was it 11? Rooster had a lot of touchdowns that year. I can't remember what the number was, but Rooster had more touchdowns than Rambo and Harley. And I want to say he may have had more touchdowns than them put together, or close to it. But I see what you're saying, and I can see how it comes off that way. But if the guys are catching the ball, the guys are getting open, the guys understand where they need to be on the field. I didn't have a problem with TVD in 2021, to be honest with you. I didn't. Because I'm looking at it from a standpoint, it's not a detriment. It's not a detriment to throw it to a guy that has over 1,000 yards receiving. It's not a detriment to throw it to a guy who got serious about the game of football and Mike Harley the year before, the previous year. And it's not a problem with me seeing a guy in Rooster who we had a lot of, hype for, and he was a big time get by Manny Diaz, by Tyler Van Dyke, seeing like, look, we're going to get him the ball. He can score. I don't have a problem with it. Who's the offensive coordinator with Ja'Cory Harris? That was Jed Fish. Jacoby Harrison. Hey, that's that. Hey, that's a. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. If you're talking about when Al Golden was here, Ja'Cory Harris OC was Jed Fish. But if you're talking about before that, then Mr. Overdose is right. It was Mark Whipple. Ellen, who's going to that certain Kane fans that he's not maybe TV? Wait a minute. I don't know what Go Tiger said right there. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Ellen, who's going to that? To them certain Kane fans that he's not maybe TVD. Oh, I don't know. Glad you mentioned that. Tyler Harrell in the end zone play as another example of kids don't know the rules of football. Bruh, man, Tyler tried to quit. He was about to fake an injury and all. Wayne, I said it back in North Carolina. I felt like TV didn't want to get back about the field. So, I mean, again, hey, I'm going to say this. I was watching Miami Flow show last night, and shout out to Flo in the game. And Lex, the co-host, he said something, and I would listen. I wouldn't have a problem with that. If they just made an announcement and say, look, TVD is having an injury, it's preventing him from playing it the way that he wants to play, and he wants to be a leader, and part of being a leader is understanding that sometimes you have to sacrifice for the greater good, and he's just going to sit out the rest of the season. I have no problem with it. Fake an injury? Hey, Wayne, at this point, he can't fake an injury. He got all the equipment on. He can't fake it now. He's hurt. For real, he's hurt. Well, Rambo did break the reception record, so that may be stare down receiver. I mean, possible. I mean, he was open. And again, like I said, Rhett Lashley did a good job of getting the ball to Rambo, Harley, to Will Mallory, and to Rooster. Like, it's a lot of teams that there's no, like, literally there's no way that you can get four guys the ball like that. Like we get to, well, not me, because, but a lot of people got bent out of shape about the way the run game was. And you know, and obviously, remember the play where we thought it was a safety? They ran dive with Rooster up the middle, and he got hit, and Rooster was averaging, like, what, 3.2 yards a carry? Like, yeah, we get upset about that, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, we didn't have to ask, we didn't have to question whether or not he was going to get the playmakers the ball. We didn't have to question it. We didn't. Go Tigers. At this point, those fans are delusionals. They can go to, I said Rooster would hurt, but Kane fans were just tired of his fumbles. I mean, go Tigers. I mean, you can't put the ball in the ground, right? You just can't do that. The ball is that's the most important thing on the field. You can't put it on the ground. But Rooster put together a hell of a 2021 season, and nobody can tell me any different. Nobody can tell me any different. Buffs coming 12-0. D King and others went down. Lashley adjusted. Jordan Travis forces body. Keon Coleman with Coleman make plays. QB, what I told you earlier, dog. Me and you, we right here, dog. QB, I'm gonna tell you how much Rhett Lashley adjusted. What transpired in the bowl game when De'Aaron King went down and Kosi had to come in the game? Think about that. Which I know you know that. But that's what I'm talking about when I talk about an offensive coordinator versus a play caller. Rhett Lashley knew N'Kosi Perry's strength. And obviously, we can argue, say, oh, well, we was down. We had to throw the ball. I don't care what the situation was. He knew the strengths of that quarterback. We knew that those plays and those routes and those throws, we knew De'Aaron King, as good as he was, he couldn't do that. And there were some things that De'Aaron King could do that N'Kosi Perry couldn't do. But we saw Rhett Lashley adjust to three different quarterbacks. To De'Aaron King, to N'Kosi, and to TVD. So I don't want to hear, again, all this conversation about, it was a conversation. Oh, Dawson's better than Lashley. Bro, we're not having that conversation. We're not, no, for real. Jordan Travis Forrest, hey, that was just supposed to do. You spotted forced about Keon Coleman. He's an elite talent. He darn sure faked the sack, bruh. I think he faked two of them things though, for real, not just one, but I think he faked two. They here, Ellen. They just here for momentum. It was cool in 2021 and up until the GT game. Never seen TVD throw three picks in a game like that. That was awful, bro. That was awful. Two fumbles by two different running backs caused us two losses. Studio, you right. Hey, but you know what, Studio? I'm gonna tell you what I didn't like back in 2021. I forgot what game it was, and Rooster fumbled the ball, and everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people got mad with Rooster and said it was Rooster's fault that we lost that. I can't remember what game it was, but Rooster fumbled the ball, and a lot of people was upset saying that NC game. Okay, yeah. And so people was like, bro, Rooster lost us that game, and I was like, bro, Rooster didn't lose us that game, man. Like again, like I said earlier, there's some players that are going to make more plays that impact you in the win department, or they're gonna make more plays to impact you in the loss department. But I'm not gonna sit up here and say that Rooster lost us the game. I'm not. Someone said Dawson offense is similar to Red, so I understand why it looked flat at times. Ellen, look at that S word that you typed in there. Similar. That's why it looked. And again, I'm not about to sit up here and practice revisionist history and act like that we didn't have a lot of 3-and-outs for Rhett Lashley. I'm not gonna say that. I would be disingenuous. I would be the same person that I take great pleasure in calling out for their BS. I'm not gonna say Rhett Lashley was great, but dog, Shannon Dawson, you're not as good as Rhett Lashley. And but it is what it is. Adjustments is the difference. Yeah, adjustments is the difference. And unfortunately, Shannon Dawson has not shown the ability to adjust. And a simple adjustment is just, again, like I said, we've seen some sprinkles of some plays. We've seen it. I mean, I'm not going to, jump up and down and say Dawson is terrible. We've seen some wrinkles, but it's like, these are these are the type of plays that minimizes TVD's impact on a greater picture. Red's offense was fast-paced, caught defense off guard. Like QB, that play that Rhett Lashley had, it was almost like it was a couple games in a row where after halftime we get the ball back, we would do that little we had two little plays that we would do. We would have a play where it was like Will Mallory would kind of motion in and go straight up beside the center. He's wide open in the middle of the field. TVD would throw it to him. That play, and then it was almost like teams couldn't adjust to the fact that we're going to throw a deep shot to Rambo. And it's like every time we dialed it up, it was there. He didn't catch every one of them, but it was there. So, again, you got to take the good with it, and you gotta take the bad. But again, if we're talking about which coordinator has the best call game, then of course nothing Rhett Lashley did is gonna top what we were able to do against Texas A&M. The problem is we haven't seen anything close to that since, and some of that could be the fact that teams are not playing defense the way that Texas A&M play. But I'm not gonna take away from that. But Rhett Lashley never called the game that looked like Texas A&M. Red's off. Okay, what? Ellen said we don't want wrinkles. Mario don't want wrinkles. I'm just saying, what's stopping us from putting Brashard Smith at quarterback, Wildcat, putting Chris Johnson on one side because he has experience doing it, and putting Ray on the other side, or even putting Tyler Harrell on the right there. What's stopping us from doing something like that? Nothing. Nothing is stopping us from doing something like that, and nothing is stopping us from running quite a few plays off of that. Like people talk about, like I said, I told y'all before, I don't want to hear nothing about no packages with Jakari. I don't want to hear nothing about no packages because those same packages that people talk about, Brashard can do that. Brashard can do that. You know, uh, heck, heck, snap the ball to Xavier Restrepo with Brashard and Chris Johnson beside him. Like, nothing is stopping us from doing something like nothing. Nothing. Lashley understood how to use talent in different areas. Dawson only sees X. Well, QB again, we gotta go back to what it is. Rhett Lashley didn't build the offense around a slot receiver. Rhett Lashley, there was no Tank Dell for Rhett Lashley at SMU. You know, with he and I forget the head coach name, but there was no Tank Dell. When Rhett Lashley got that job, no, we didn't look at we said he did a great job with the quarterback that transferred in from Texas, but we didn't go out there and say, oh man, he he got one receiver, like, bro, he getting a lot of yards. No, it's like, no, like, they ran the ball very well. I think their running back had like 20 touchdowns that year. And they threw the ball very well. That was a perfect mix. Being able to adjust, that adds to my point about Mario. Anthony Brown was handicapped at Oregon. He's a run for Mr. Overdose. I'm gonna say this about Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown, I think Anthony Brown had that knee brace on. So I don't think Anthony Brown. I think Anthony Brown mobility was probably hindered a lot because of that, and he did a good job for what they asked him to do. You know, he did a good job. You know, but that was the type of offense that he played in because he played in that offense a similar offense at Boston College. So that's kind of what he was. Go Tigers being able to adjust to the players and to the mid game to what the defense is doing. Again, go Tigers. You're right. And for whatever reason, I don't see Shannon. Again, like I said, it's nine. Like, bro, it's 9 games. These like this particular discussion that we're having right now, we're having this discussion only because TVD looks like the worst quarterback that has played at the University of Miami since Kyle Wright. That's why we're having this discussion. Because a lot of this stuff that we're talking about right now, a lot of us that are a little bit more objective, some people that may be considered to be pessimistic, we saw this in game 1. And we gave it a pass in game 1 because we understood that Texas A&M was next on the schedule. And we saw what we saw against Texas A&M, but then subsequently against Bethune and then against Temple, we see something that just it don't look the same. And then we go to Georgia Tech, it doesn't look the same. And then obviously North Carolina, it looked somewhat of the same. But then TVD cannot play against Clemson. It doesn't look the same at Clemson. Doesn't look the same at Virginia. And it doggone sure didn't look the same against NC State. And listen, even though I'm not conceding defeat to Florida State, it would not surprise me in the least bit if what we've seen the past 3 games is what we see against Florida State. And guess what? That's not going to win. And guess what? The team will probably lay down. We got to score with Louisville and Florida State if we want to have a chance. Because the thing about Louisville and Florida State, they play defenses that are just as good, if not better than ours. Louisville had played Notre Dame. Notre Dame has a very good defense. Florida State has played that Clemson defense. We played that Clemson defense. So they play good defenses, and they've been able to move the ball against those good defenses. So it's not a situation about it's something that we're going to bring to the table from a standpoint of how good we are that they haven't seen, because they've seen it. The problem is we have not seen an offense. Well, yes, we have. We've seen 2 offenses that are good, but I don't know if North Carolina and Texas A&M offenses are as good as Florida State and Louisville right now, and that's gonna be an adjustment. That's gonna be an adjustment. The O line is still good enough to run that counter play. Mr. Overdose. O line is good to run a counter play. O line is good to run a. The O line is good enough to run a reverse. The O line, like this is like Mr. Overdose. Let me tell you something. I've seen people say that it's TVD fault. We're racing a good defense and we're racing a good offensive line. Now again, like I said, TVD is responsible for his share of this. But if you want to say that we are wasting an offensive line, then you also have to say, well, look, part of us wasting the offensive line is the fact that we're not getting our skill guys that can take direct snaps, getting them involved in the run game or getting them involved in screens and stuff like that. That's part of wasting it as well. Not just TVD dropping back, throwing interceptions, and not just, running the ball against 8 and 9 men in the box. You telling me he don't have a speed package with CJ, Ray George, Smith, and Trips and Young? No, he doesn't. But you know what? Go Tigers. He might, but guess what? We ain't seen it. And as a matter of fact, talking about packages, let me tell you the package that we did hear about. The package that we heard about was a pass rush package. We heard nothing about an offensive package. We didn't hear about that. But all of a sudden, in the middle of the season, everybody talking about Jakari packages and stuff like that. I don't know about that. Ellen, Florida State starts off slow, but they show up in the second half. Florida State will not be starting off slow this week. Florida State is looking to do to us what they did last year. They will not be starting off slow they will not be starting off slow this week. I can guarantee you that. And Ellen, that's the bad part. Because if they start off fast in the first half and they show back up in the second half, they gonna lay down. But I know it's gonna be a lot of Cane fans in the building. I know that because it's a rivalry game. So I think if there is a situation that we can sustain a lead or get some momentum, I do think that we'll be able to, we can make it interesting. But if we don't show up, and I haven't done this I haven't turned off a Miami Hurricane game since the 2015 Clemson game. I ain't turned off a Miami Hurricane game since then. But if we start off slow, I can guarantee you I will be turning that game off. Ellen, I will be leaving the champagne room. Well, Coach Hayes is going to be at the game, so I'm going to be watching the game. But I guarantee you I will be turning the game off TV. I promise I will. Brother Jay, we are not recruiting top quarterbacks. Brother Jay, at this particular point right now, it's not even about the top quarterback. It's about recruiting a quarterback that fits what it is that you're trying to do on offense. And unfortunately, TVD was recruited to do something that Dan Enos wanted to do. He looked good doing something that Rhett Lashley wanted to do. Could not do what Josh Gaddis wanted to do. Is able to do what Shannon Dawson wants him to do. But unfortunately, what Shannon Dawson wants him to do, other teams have figured it out. Ellen says, I can't believe I'm typing this, but TVD has no chance. No chance to do what? Jakari Brown 11 should play on 11-11. I like that. That means he can't adjust the personnel then. He can't. Them Dana Holgerson plays. We have major problems with our passing game. Brother Jay, I talked about what the problem is. The problem is the teams have taken Xavier Restrepo away, and we don't have a plan B. Saving the speed packages for Hey, but you know what, QB? What do we have to lose, right? Like, all jokes aside, What do we have to lose? We are in a situation now where Florida State should expect the unexpected. They should expect us to come out there, run a fake punt, fake field goal, onside kick. They like. What do we have to lose? We can't play for the ACC title. The only thing that we are looking to play for now is if we can finish the season strong to have a better opponent in the bowl game. But then again, we may not want a better opponent in the bowl game. We may, hey, I'm gonna tell you what, hey, I'm gonna tell you what Canesville said, or Street of them said, and I said, bruh, if this is what is going on, I can't, I can get mad, but I'm not gonna be mad. But this is what they said. This is what Street said. Street was like, bro, when you look at some of the stuff that they're doing, it's almost like they are purposely holding things back for the sake of not getting the expectations too quickly. In other words, going 7-5 shows progress from 5-7. Going 9-4 shows progress from 7-5. And then going 10-3 or 12-2 shows progress from the previous year. Now, as crazy as that sounds, it could be some truth to that. I don't want it to be any truth. I mean, no. Let me not say that, because at the end of the day, we all want the Miami Hurricanes to be good, right? And people have circled 2025. But bruh, how can you keep players engaged if you are systematically withholding things just to show minimum improvement over the years? I just don't see how that can happen. Our corners are smaller in competition. Brother Jay, that's going to be a problem. We're going to have to play, like, as tall as Florida State wide receivers are, I just don't see a situation where we can put James Williams in the box. Like, he and Cam are going to have to stay. Cam is a ball hawk, but man, this about to look like when your big brother play you in basketball. Ain't nothing you can do that. Rivalry games always have extra juice. Yeah, they do. Shad, you better than me. Last game I watched this season was Temple. Mr. Overdose, are you saying the last game that you watched all the way through was Temple? Or are you saying that Temple is the last game you watched this season? Nah, that can't be what you say. It can't be. Because, bro, how would you know not to watch the Georgia Tech game? You got to be telling me Temple's the last game you watched all the way through. And if that's the case, hey, man. Hey, I'm going to tell y'all a story, man. And I think I've told the story before. It was 2012. I was at home. My cousin came by the house. We were playing Georgia Tech in Atlanta. And I think we had got down like some crazy score. I think we were down like 35-14 or something to Georgia Tech in 2012. And my cousin came by the house. He was like, "Oh, come on, man. Let's go, man. The Canes ain't gonna win." I was like, "No, dog, no. I can't. It's just something about him. I feel like we're gonna pull this off." And sure enough, we rallied the troops and we beat them in Atlanta. I still remember that. But that 2015 game, I still remember where I was at. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings, and they had the game on a small TV. So I'm sitting there with my wife. I'm watching the game. Brad Collier gets hurt. Kelly Bryant is in the game in the first half. I said, I'm not watching the rest of this. For what? That's the last game I literally did not finish. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something else, Mr. Overdose. In 2016, when we had that 4-game losing streak right there in the middle, and we played Pitt. So fully transparent, I didn't watch that Pitt game. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it because I said, bro, we done lost 4 games in a row. We're not about to beat Pitt. I didn't watch the game, and I missed arguably um, a great game. I missed arguably a great game because I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it because I was so upset. But those are the 2 instances where I didn't finish a game, and the instance in which I just simply did not watch a game. So yeah, I do get a little bent out of shape sometimes. Hey, I never mentioned to TVD or any other our quarterbacks. I'm saying we never recruit top quarterbacks. Oh. Man, don't work out, man. I mean, we had Jake. Didn't work out. Um, we got Tate Martell in the transfer portal. It didn't work out. Um, who else before that? Brad Kaya. He was a top quarterback, but he wasn't like a top quarterback. But it just hasn't worked out for us though, for real though. Like, to being honest, the passing game and personnel. I'm talking about the system that Dawson run. There is no passing game. It's amazing. Oh, well, brother Jay, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like, yeah, for real, it's not. I don't know what we're doing. You know, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But like I said, he has not shown that he has a plan B. That's the problem. That would have to make sense because there's no other reason to hold back players who need development. I mean, Mr. Overdose, yeah, that makes sense, but it's, bro, why would you why would you sacrifice players that are only here for a finite amount of time? Like Brashard Smith is a junior. So that's not gonna go over too well to Brashard Smith if there's any type of inkling to say, oh, so y'all are doing this for y'all personal survival. Y'all don't care about me being a hometown kid, me choosing the crib when I could have went somewhere else. Y'all don't care about me trying to put a put myself in a position where I can provide for myself and my family because of y'all self gain. Bro, I'm out the building. And if that happens, bro, we talking about a fence around South Florida. Bro, ain't no fence. It ain't no fence. Ain't like, bro, you literally talking about you cannot come to another high school if it bro. I was shocked when Street said that. But bro, if there's any type of truth to that, it's over with. It's over. It's over. Like, if there's any like, if someone can bring any validity to that point to say that y'all are purposely holding things back to lower expectations so that you can gradually, can't do that. Actually, they had him in press coverage and he looked great. I want to see James Williams. Who did they have in press coverage, studio? Who you talking about? Who they had in press coverage? All the way through. Our D-line need to dominate to have a chance. FSU O-line is not as good as last year. I didn't think they were that good last year, to be honest. As a matter of fact, QB, to be honest, and this is just not me being hating, but I don't know how Florida State won a national title in 2013 because that offensive line to me wasn't that good. I don't know what they're doing. Like, it seems like they should have good offensive lines, but it's like, it don't look like they got no good offensive line. So, yeah, I think we should handle business up front, and I think their defensive line should have some issues with ours. I do think that we hold that advantage, but I don't know. But, yeah, we need our D-line to step up. We are an enigma of inconsistency. Of course, FSU coordinators adjust after halftime. Watch out. I hope not. I never thought I'd say this about James Williams, but he looked natural at that press coverage. He looked like a beast. Who did he press? Studio? Because if you talking about him press... Now, studio, I'll say this: Johnny Wilson is not very much of a route runner. He's just big. Now, if you saying we're gonna put Johnny Williams on Johnny Wilson, then I mean you gotta do what you gotta do. And double Keon Coleman, you gotta do what you gotta do. But do we want to sacrifice taking James away from the run game and put him on Johnny Wilson? I don't know. I didn't watch the Pitt game that year either. Then watch them beat the brakes off of us the following. Bro, we were riding high. But you know what? The thing about 2017, man, is we all saw it. We all saw it. You know, we all saw it falling down, right? And I enjoyed it as much as I could because obviously we have to enjoy it. We beat Florida State for the first time, 2017. Darrell Langham was in a shootout, well, a nip and tuck ball game with Georgia Tech, and then obviously we just ran Notre Dame off of the field. I mean, it was a fun and exciting ride. And then to think that we had the hurricane that occurred, and the guys had to just like that stretch of games where our defense forced like 3+ turnovers in like 3 or 4 games, bro. Like elite stuff, man. Elite stuff, like for real. Uh, Look at how we did DJ Ivy. What you mean? We have a journeyman OC. If that's true, they're hurting players' development and playing time because they want to limit expectation for players. Find out they do. That's what I'm saying. Go Tigers. Like, I was like, Street wasn't saying it from a perspective like, oh, for fact, like this is what's happening. Like, no, he was just saying it like some of the moves they're making, and it's like, bro, it's so much like this. Like you're talking about, like think about this, bro. You're talking about red shirting players in the era of the transfer portal. Like, bro, what are we talking about? Not saying that you need to bend over backwards to accommodate these players, but it's like, bro, you can't like red shirt shouldn't even. Only people should be red shirt is offensive linemen, bro, and maybe a defensive tackle, but skill position. And to me, I'm not even all that set on red shirt and the quarterback, but I mean, I understand the reason why. But like, no, bro, if it's any truth to that, and if someone's watching this broadcast, I'm not saying that is what's happening. I'm just reiterating, or I'm just saying something that someone said who is also not saying that is what's happening. They are just making, that's the conclusion that they drew based on the BS that we see, right? They're gonna turn up Mario and the coaches. He was wide out impressed. I like the way James put his hands on dudes. They couldn't get off the line. We don't need James for no freaking run game. Stop it. Studio, I'm just saying, Studio, that's where he's been. He's been in the box. He's been in that rover position that he's been playing. Like, he's been good right there. Question, I'm just saying, is it me or do anyone ever say we have a head coach that was an O-lineman coach is a game manager that knows the X's and O's? Let me read that again. Let me read that a little bit slower. Is it me or does anyone ever say we have a head coach that was an O-lineman? O-lineman coach a game as a game manager that knows his X's and O's. Oh, Brother Jay, I look at this the same way as I look at defensive-minded head coaches. Their whole objective is we want to make the game ugly, physically, and we don't want to keep the defense out on the field too long. We want to get them to get stops or turnovers and let us lay on people for 4 quarters to get a W. So, ideally, I think that's what that is. But like I said, the telltale sign is going to be after the game, after the season. If Shannon Dawson stays or if Shannon Dawson goes. I don't think Guidry's going anywhere. But if Shannon Dawson leaves, then I think that we can say that He did. He was holding Shannon Dawson back a little bit. I think we can say that. Mario words speak volumes. He wants physicality, but I never heard domination or explosive. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, bro. I mean, Oregon fans seem to be excited right now because their offense looks like it looked when Chip Kelly was in charge of things. So they're happy now. So I mean, they look. I've watched a couple of games, and yeah, they look. I don't think I'm gonna say this. I don't think if Mario was still at Oregon, I don't think Troy Franklin would be doing what he's doing because he wouldn't have the opportunity to do it, right? Um, so that's just my thoughts on it. Oh, I know what you're saying, Go Tigers. I know what you're saying. That we saying the same exact thing. If that was to be true, if that was to be proven to be true, he would be done. Jaden Davis better not line up over Wilson. Oh, you did that, and Wilson cooked him on repeat, bruh. I don't want Jaden Davis nowhere near. You know what I want? I want Jay Davis to go back to that nickel spot. That's what I want. But then the same because like what we run like a 3-3-5 now. So that's what I want. I want Jay Davis to go back to the nickel spot. So at corner studio, like you said, I mean I don't know if we'll do that, but put James Williams on Johnny Wilson and put Damari Brown. I meant put put Damari. Don't put Devontae on him. And have Cam play over the top and cross our fingers that Kiko and Corey Flagg as the two best run stopping, according to PFF, the two best run defending linebackers, let them go to work. An engineer may design a boat or a jet, but may not know how to fly the jet. Mario can build a team, but can he drive the team? I don't know, studio. I mean, what if they put Brashard Smith at corner? I mean, look, hey, QB, at this point, Brashard needs to be on the field. Point blank, period. I don't like the fact that he. No, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. I don't like the fact that he allowed for his frustration to show by putting that up on Instagram Live. I don't like that. But at the same time, it goes back to what I said. I committed to Miami. I committed to the crib because I believed, and I believe that y'all gonna put me in a position to excel, and it's not happening. Changes should be made at the end of the season in some form or fashion. If not, there's a problem. Brother Jay, when you say changes, are you talking about coordinator change? Or are you talking about now? Obviously, of course, we can all agree. Yeah, Coach Joe, you got to go. But the telltale sign to me is going to be if Dawson leaves, and if any of these other coaches leave for lateral position. We know one coach for sure is not going to leave. That's Mirabel. We know he's not going to leave, and I don't think Gidry's going to leave either. But if any of these other coaches leave for lateral movement, for lateral jobs, and Dawson leave, yeah, we got a problem. We got a problem. Now, Brown, I call Pulley because he always pulling on somebody. Keep your hands to yourself, dude. Now, there's Devontae Brown. Damari Brown is cool. Devontae Brown, I don't know what he got there doing. He must mean Mario because he has the most errors, in my opinion. If we get a new OC after the season, then there's going to be a problem for Mario. No, it's not. It's not going to be a problem for Mario because the thing of it is that, think about this. You're Mario Cristobal. You're not going to, a P5 coordinator or even a P5 head coach, Jason Kendall, they're not going to put up with you. I mean, a P5 coordinator or a G5 head coach. Let me rephrase that. They're not going to put up with you telling them what to do. But a G5 coordinator, just to get some experience at the P5 level, you can hire them and make them do what you want them to do. Just happy for the opportunity. They're going from making roughly what, 200,000-300,000 a year to you giving them what, 8 maybe 900K. Another February OC hard mark. Nah, go Tigers. I don't even want that. I don't even want that to even start because nobody else is talking about that, and I don't want nobody saying, "Oh, well, Shad said on his live, Dawson leaving." No, I don't want nobody saying that. I'm just saying, if Dawson were to leave, there's a problem. And the thing about it, that's what's so bad about it, is if he did leave, we wouldn't hire an offensive coordinator. Wouldn't be hired until after spring probably. Mario Cristobal not going nowhere 2026. That's his contract. Yeah, man, Mario ain't going nowhere. It's too much invested for him to go. For him to even be anywhere, even from anything to be talking about. Now, what I will say, he signed a 10-year deal, but within that 10-year deal, you're really trying to see where you at that 5-year mark, right? And so next year will be year 3. 25 would be year 4. So you really know. So you really know. So we really gonna know what we got year 4, year 5. I'm saying changes. Oh, brother Jay. Oh, I wholeheartedly feel like there are gonna be some players that go to the portal. I believe that. Shad said Dawson the best. No, no, no. I don't think he's the best in the ACC. Which I don't even have to. I don't even have to say that. Of course he's not. But he's a play caller. I don't think he's a coordinator. He's a play caller. The problem with a lot of these coaches, they calling plays based on metrics instead of eye the game of feel. Well, studio, that's the thing though. That's what separates. Again, these are my top 5 play calls in all of college football. You can argue with your mammy. Ryan Day, Lane Kiffin, Sarkisian, Dan Mullen, and dang. Ryan Day, Lane, Sark, Mullen, and Lincoln Riley. Yeah. Those are the top 5 to me. And you can argue with, not saying any of y'all got a mammy, but that's the thing. You can argue with whoever you want to argue with. What's up, Rob Roy? You can argue with whoever you want to argue with about that, but and all 5 of them have that one thing in common. They're not just calling plays to call plays. They calling plays to move the ball down the field. They're calling plays to where almost on any play we could be potentially talking about a touchdown. And so that's what's unique about those 5. And I don't know nobody else. I don't know nobody else that's doing it. So that's why. So it's like I can't get too upset with Dawson about it because I can't expect for you to be one of those 5. Because if you were one of those 5, you would be one of those 5. But you're not. You know. So, and again, like I say, Lane Kiffin is my favorite point blank period. And that has nothing to do with. The whole Lane versus Mario situation. It's just that what Lane Kiffin was able to do with Jalen Hurts as well as Blake Sims that particular year when Amari Cooper had that huge year, like I gained so much respect for Lane Kiffin to the point that it was like, bro, I would love for him to be at Miami, but I'm not going to fanboy out about a coach and put a coach above my fandom for the team. I'm not going to do that. But those are my 5, right? So anyway, man, we've been on here, 2 hours and 20 minutes. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me, man. I'm not even mad anymore. I literally rode all day today thinking about this live, thinking about how mad I was gonna be. And yeah, I had a couple of moments, but I like to end stuff on a good note, right? So with that being said, I'm gonna end it like this. If by some I want an NFL guy, NFL OC or DC was my choice. Okay, studio. I'm gonna end it with this. I'm not conceding a loss or conceding defeat to Florida State. I want to put what little faith I want to put the rest of the faith that I have in Shannon Dawson that we're gonna dial some we're going to see some things and we're going to try to do some things to minimize the exposure that whoever is the quarterback that they have on this game. I would have gave Beard or Hank the head coaching job, but you know the White Magnus for a choice. Hey, studio, I ain't even gonna lie. At one point in time, before we gave it to Mark Rick, I was like, bruh, let James Coley be the head coach. He'll put together a fire staff. He knows everybody, you know. But it is what it is. But as far as that studio, I don't see another brother. hey, hey. I think they said, you know, all the rest of them like, you know what's bad about that? Not to switch gears on it, but my man at Notre Dame, he could be in trouble next year. He could be in trouble next year. My man at Byron left his turn. Oh, I don't know, bruh. I'm gonna tell you this, studio. Ain't no NFL. Look, ain't no NFL coach coming to work for Mario Cristobal. It's too much work. That ain't gonna happen. But anyway, man, I ain't got my one hand because I'm holding the phone with my other. So as always, it's all about the you.